Hey guys, it's Steve. We're going to talk about malfunctions right now. A malfunction occurs when you pull the trigger and the weapon fails to fire. I have set this gun up to have a malfunction when I start firing. You're going to notice the malfunction, and I want you to see what I do to correct it. I'm going to demonstrate a method called tap, rack, and roll. The purpose of tapping is to make sure, number one, the magazine is seated properly, because sometimes the magazine is not seated properly and it's causing that malfunction. Number two, when you're racking is you're trying to get that bad round, if there's a bad round inside the chamber, outside, and roll, you're making sure and ensuring that bad round gets out. All right. So in practice, it will look something like this. All right, guys. Next, we're going to talk about double feed. So I set this weapon up to malfunction with double feed. A double feed happens when there's a round inside or a casing inside the chamber, and another round is trying to load into the gun. So two rounds are trying to go into into the chamber at the same time. All right. So how do you clear a double feed? First, you drop your magazine. Sometimes the magazine gets caught, like I'm hitting the magazine release button, but it doesn't come out. You're going to have to lock the slide back first. Then you're going to drop the magazine. Once the magazine comes out, that round will come out. You can replace the magazine back in and ride the slide forward. All right, guys. Next piece we're going to talk about is stance. So the biggest things about stance is this. A lot of people misunderstand stance as being I have to have a set form where my feet has to go left here or my right feet has to go right here in order for things to work. That's not true. What you care about stance is actually being able to be mobile. All right. Can I shoot like this if I had to? Can I shoot like this if I had to? I can, but the key with the stance while I'm in those positions is that I am properly grounded, yet still being able to have mobility. Mobility means my predominant weight is on the balls of my feet. I'm able to move. If you're stationary in a gunfight or stationary in a fight in general, that's bad news. So now I'm gonna do some demonstrations on what proper stance looks like and what happens when you don't have proper stance, all right? I'm gonna start off with the improper stance. All right, all my shots still hit, but as you see, my body started taking that recoil up in my body back like this. Now, what a proper stance looks like. Notice the difference. My body is more leaned forward, weight on the balls of my feet. I'm able to handle that recoil a lot better. All right, guys, so we're going to talk about grip. So if you look at the gun, the only part of the gun that moves when you fire the weapon is actually the slide, right? So what we try to do when we grip a gun is get as high as you can on that backstrap so we can mitigate and control that slide. There's no way you can take all the movement out from the gun. The gun's going to move regardless. You're just trying to make it predictable. Second piece of that is understanding that you're not really trying to squeeze the gun. What you're trying to do is vice the gun. What I mean by vice is you're putting pressure up by your palm. So I'm pushing pressure here and I'm pushing pressure here. All right. Ideally, I'm trying to, from the bottom, from the rear, it looks like I'm trying to pull apart the gun from the bottom heel of the pistol grip. Okay. All right, guys, I'm going to show you guys the impact that a good grip versus a bad grip has on your shots. First thing I'm going to demonstrate is a proper grip. Watch the gun and how fast I can shoot it. Bad grip. Focus what happens to my gun. Watch the gun. Can I still hit? Yes. All right, now teacup grip. I don't even know if I could do this grip.